So we're here in Chester this morning, and Simon has very, very kindly agreed to come on to talk to us about critical illness and his experience with critical illness insurance. So Simon, obviously, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
So just quickly, can you just give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Simon. I'm from Chester, age 55, and I currently work in the windows and doors business.
Okay.
That's what I do for a living. Yeah,
No problem.
That's what I do.
So how did you come about talking about critical illness insurance?
Yeah, what happened, Dan? I as I'm 55, I started thinking about obviously looking at my affairs and so on. I was chatting to a couple of guys in the pub,
Right. Okay.
and they were talking about people they know had different sort of conditions and health stuff. And I just thought about, what would I do if I got, maybe a heart attack, stroke, cancer, whatever? How would that impact me? So I made some inquiries. I obviously jumped onto Google, and then I found I'm insured and put my details in because I thought I wanted to know a little bit more about this, really.
Okay.
So that's what I did, and I got a great call from one of the guys there, and we ran through it all. They explained it all to me. And then we put a policy in place. I put a policy in place with Royal London.
Okay.
It was based really on a budget. I thought to myself, I can afford, based on my current situation, maybe £100 a month. We got the best policy we could for that. It was with Royal London, and I put it in place, and away we went. And bizarrely, I literally had a stroke within about 8 weeks of taking the policy.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Yeah.
so quickly, if you like. But
I can imagine.
yeah.
It's crazy. So obviously your situation's slightly different to a lot of people who do take out life insurance and critical illness insurance. So was there any other kind of motivating factors to this? Was there any kind of other reasons why you were thinking this might be a good idea?
Yeah. Well, obviously in my family there's a bit of sort of heart problems. So
Right.
I'm aware of that things happen to you in life and what the implications might be. So I thought to myself, I need to look into this and understand it a bit more and see if there's any way I could put something in place that might help me if the worst should happen. So that's what I did.
Okay. So in terms of taking out the life insurance and the critical illness insurance policy, how was that process? How did you find that?
I found, again, thanks to the guys that I am insured, it was very smooth. They explained it all to me. It told me how it works and what happens if the worst should happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and I was quite comfortable with what I did, and I was hoping really that I wouldn't obviously have a critical illness or a serious illness, and I'd kind of waste the money in some respects, but I was comforted by the fact I had the insurance in place.
Okay.
And there you go. Yeah.
So then obviously forward 8 weeks down the line,
Yeah.
and then obviously the inevitable did happen.
It
Well,
did,
not
yeah.
inevitable, but
Probable, I suppose.
yeah.
The
And
words.
then so what kind of went through your mind then? What happened at that point?
Well, I think obviously, I'm sure you can appreciate, I didn't think about the policy at the time, but then it, as I'm recovering in hospital, it dawned on me that I had something in place. So I spoke to I Am Insured and said, listen, this has happened to me and I've got a policy and I suppose I need to claim. And they assisted me with that, and we went through the process, and they were very helpful. And I got after a few weeks, I got the money that was due to the policy. So the whole thing, and it really helped me in terms of my recovery, because obviously I was in hospital for some time and I had a stroke and I wasn't very stable, etc.
Yeah.
So that money really helped me and gave me a little bit of financial freedom at the time, which I appreciate now.
Fantastic. So in terms of now looking at your life and how things have changed, obviously since then, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah, it's all happened to me, but it's just given me a little bit of freedom. That financial, it's just assisted, because obviously I had the stroke, and I had quite a strong stroke, but I've recovered really quickly, and I think having that not on my mind has helped.
Right.
Yeah. Taking time off work and doing different things, hospital visits. It's just been very helpful, I think.
Fantastic.
The word, yeah.
Okay. So what's your kind of advice to other people? Any guidance that you could offer to other people now in the same sort of situation?
Yeah, what I would say, it's not a nice thing to talk about, but these things happen, and I suppose if you think about it, you're probably more likely to get ill, get maybe cancer, stroke, or whatever, than actually die. Especially in my age, in my 50s, I'm kind of in. I think I've heard that it's been called the danger zone. You're likely to die between 50 and 70, or get critically ill. So I thought let's do something about it, and it's kind of paid off for me. So
Right, okay. And in your situation, looking at what you had to protect and what you were kind of thinking about at the time, personally, what was your kind of financial situation in the background at that point?
yeah, I had a couple of quid in the bank and obviously some pension in the future, but I wasn't particularly well off. But I needed to work through my 50s to keep going.
Yeah.
And this money's just helped me along that and give me a little bit of financial security, which has been amazing, really.
Yeah. Okay.
I would have preferred not to have had the stroke.
Well,
But the fact that it was going to happen anyway, this has just helped me.
and was there any other kind of signs or anything else that you were concerned about at the time? So medically, was there any signs of a stroke, or was there any issues?
Yeah, I'm quite a big chap. I know BMI is not a great thing.
Right.
I was smoking and drinking again. I realised, they're not great things to do, but you do them, don't you?
Of course.
And I was always sort of in the firing line, and it happened to me. So it just.
So from a lifestyle point of view, there were no medical signs, but
No, I do suffer. I do. I still do suffer from hypertension. So
Right.
maybe there was something in that mix that
yeah,
has maybe caused a stroke, possibly.
but that made you.
But I wasn't aware of it at the time.
Okay.
Of course, I wasn't. So.
Okay, right. So, I mean, ultimately, the situation here is obviously, from Simon's point of view, it's not necessarily the standard protecting a family or protecting children or what have you, but there is a financial element there that caused you to think that you might need to get something in place.
Yeah, what would I do if that happened? It might
Okay.
cause me some problems, and this has really helped.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thanks very much for your time, Simon.
Okay.
Thanks very much
Well,
for sharing. Obviously, I appreciate this. It's not always easy to talk about things like this, so I really do obviously appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah, we'll see you again next time.